live, ladies and gentlemen. We are the Millie Ghosts, episode 392, April 26, 2026. And I clicked out of the Instagram live, and I have to reset that up. That sucks. Let me do this.
All right.
Yeah, so I'm setting it up. Everybody tell me
Happy
about your day.
end of 2026. NFL Draft Football is back. I am your co-host, aka your regular host, who just dropped the ball on Instagram, and G.U.Y. is over there proudly supporting the Buffalo Sabres and drawing the wagon.
I drew my Buffalo wagon.
There we go.
Because nobody circles the wagon like the Buffalo Bills, but nobody is more of a wagon than the Buffalo Sabres right
Nobody's
now.
going to be off the wagon than Josh Allen, though, because Josh Allen is – I sent out – did you see the literally sabermetrics that I sent you?
I did see that. But I just think that you need to reword it because he was at the first game. He didn't do the drum at the first game.
When Josh Allen is involved with the Buffalo Sabres.
When Josh Allen bangs the drum.
He can't bang the drum or chug beers anymore. He has to do beers off screen.
Shotgun beers.
Did he shot? Well, I guess he could shotgun a beer.
He just chugged it.
He can't chug now. Chugging's out.
Unless it's out of the saber tube.
He can do that. I'll accept that.
The sword.
But he cannot. He can no longer go pound the drum and then chug a beer out of a can. That can't happen. Okay. Yes, we're back. I got it back on Instagram. I hit the I don't know, I had a tab open and then I hit the button, but we're a few minutes late. But if you're listening to the podcast, thank you. Like, subscribe, download, leave a review, all that stuff. If you haven't done that, please do that. We see the numbers going up. I see the numbers going up. It's kind of nice, especially our last draft, the round one recap. So we're gonna do a full draft recap today. The committee met. We put grades out just like every other main account. Okay. So we're going to go over those. We're going to talk NBA, or not NBA. We're in 3 minutes of NBA, maybe 2 minutes of NBA. We're going to do NHL playoffs. That's where we'll start. We'll start with the NHL playoffs. Then we'll work our way into football. We got other couple of things we're going to talk about. But National Garage Day. So don't show that to the Kelsey brothers to be like, oh, look at our garage beer. It's so different. It's just like it's so different than every other beer. National Garage Day, but also, J-Vi, National Jason Day. Not the golfer, but actually literally Jason. The day of Jason.
What was the other thing you were about to send out?
What was the other National Day?
Wait a minute. Was it
coincidence that it falls on Jason Day?
Hold on. Was that well hung day?
Hung Kings Day.
Hung Kings. That's what it is. I didn't look at that at all. I just saw it and started immediately dying and said, I hope everybody celebrated accordingly. It was Hung Kings Festival.
On Jason Day.
Yeah,
coincidence. Can't answer that live.
Okay, the first garage door was a result of a miscalculation by Henry Ford. Ford was working on a shed for his quadricycle, a four-wheeled bicycle that functioned without a horse. What an absolute unit! And he put it in a brick building, but then had to knock the building down and the bricks, to get his motorcycle out. So there you go. Okay. That's Garage Day. Also, love a good garage, by the way. A lot of people put their TVs in the garage. You can clean out your garage. Yes, you do.
Weights in the garage.
Weights in the garage.
Would
you rather have a garage or a basement?
Well, technically ours is a basement. We don't park any cars in our garage.
Best of both worlds, dude.
I mean, so we park our golf cart in the garage. The cars are outside. It's like the play area, weight set, TV.
It's a cool setup.
Washer, dryer, darts. I got to pop a shot now.
You do?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
I'm set the high score on that bad boy.
Nah, I have the high score. You can only tie the high score.
What's the high score?
It only goes to 99.
Damn. Okay.
So you can only tie the high score. I have it.
Okay. That's fair enough. Then we can both be, man, we're watching the end of this Tampa Bay
it's like
Tampa Bay Montreal game, and it's in the zone. This series has been phenomenal. It's been just incredible. I love that series. Do we have anything else before we get going? I mean, we're already a little late, so we gotta step on the gas here. Chris said you get the line brawl story from Tex this weekend. Yes, he sent us the video, somewhat of a video, and then explained to us what happened. He said he wasn't in the mix though.
Was he on?
Lost it.
Can't trust him.
Montreal loses. B. McCormick's here. He said, "What's up, fellas? Hope you all had a good weekend." And if you're listening to the podcast, we do shout out the audience from YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, everywhere. So if you're listening to the podcast and you hear us yelling out people's names, that's what we're doing. Okay, are we ready to get into this thing? We got anything else to get in? I mean,
let's go.
Okay, let's do it then. All right. Howdy hats at howdy.hats.enc. I am going to be placing another order for hats because I've had multiple people reach out recently about specifically the camo hat edge. Shout out you.
Raw.
And we're gonna get some more hats in. So once we get those in, I'll do a post and notify everybody that's been asking me about them. So okay, shout out at howdy.hats.enc. Let's get it. All right, so let's start with the NHL playoffs. The Ducks in that series they're going on right now, by the way. But the Ducks in the Oilers series, bet the over. There's already been a goal. It's been 2 minutes. There's already been.
I was going to say they already scored over under 7.5.
Yes, every game. Like it's a complete fire wagon. It's unbelievable. It's
McDavid only has 2 points.
Yeah, dude. There's a guy for the Ducks named Carlson who's an absolute freak show. He is a player. He's a two-way center. He's like a Barkov type guy. Love the sweaters for the Ducks, by the way. These all oranges. Love those.
It's the we're gonna shut down the best player and make the other guys beat us. It's like the other guys are like, hold my beat. Like, they're just scoring.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, dude. This series has been just fireworks, dude. I freaking love it. The Hurricanes, dude. So the Hurricanes sweep the Senators. They go up to Canada. Poor little Canada Senators fan crying in the stands. Little dude, saw him, tears in his eyes all over the place. Hurricanes are a wagon. They just maul everybody.
I mean, they got the easiest schedule to the conference final.
Do we need a path to the Power Championship? Where's AKC? There he is. He says Jack State baseball and softball first place in the CUSA. Yeah, but people are leaving your conference though, Jack State. Louisiana Tech.
They had the Oilers, or they had the Senators as better favorites to win the Stanley Cup than the Buffalo Sabres. And they lost. Yes, and they lost. They got swept.
Kachuk didn't even have a point.
Can't happen.
I don't think he had a point the entire series. Brady Kachuk. They were throwing some haymakers in this game to the end the other day. They were throwing their bodies around. One of them was a cheap shot. Some dude got knocked out cold. It was brutal. So the Hurricanes move on. The series outside of Colorado and the Hurricanes and the Penguins actually, we'll wait for Tex to get in here, but all the series have been really good, except for the Hurricanes and the Avalanche. They already won. But the Wild and the Stars, dude, that is one of the best series you'll ever see. That one plus the Montreal Tampa Bay series have been incredible. It's been incredible. Those, dude, that Minnesota Wild and Stars game, OT in that one, spectacular. I think
we were watching it on the pod, and I was like, it's 2-0 already, and then they clawed their way back.
Hey, I love when the home team gets back in it, dude. But the Canadians and the Lightning, that was the first game. It didn't go to overtime. So the Penguins get their win the other night. They jumped out early on the Flyers, took them to the cleaners. Flyers could never get it back in, even though they had the puck everybody's shirts. Can't wear those again. It's over. Got to retire those shirts. Can't be having it.
And take the billboard down.
Yeah, got to. Like I said, Canadians, they lose, so that series is tied. And we're going to see what the Anaheim and Edmonton do as we go through this. And then we've got the Mammoth and the Golden Knights tomorrow night. But, J-Vi, the floor is yours. Sabres, Sabres, up 3-1 in the series. Big win today. Go.
I mean, this is what I told you would happen. I told you after game 2, the emotional high of game 1, we came out flat in game 2. We went back to switching our goalies. So Alex Lyon got in, and he's been unbelievable. He played again today. I think they're going to ride him. I think they're trying to just ride one guy, and UPL mentally is not there for whatever reason. I mean, he played the back half of the last 10 games of the season because Alex Lyon was hurt, but Alex Lyon is now back and healthy. Switched him back in there, and he's been playing unbelievable. Now I don't know what
you're a cat guy now.
I don't know what the Bruins were doing today.
Dude, their defensive zone possessions were absolutely atrocious.
Yeah.
They could not get the puck out of their own zone to save their life. It was embarrassing.
I mean,
it was awful.
We scored 9 straight goals. I mean, including last game. So we were down 1-0, ended up winning 3-1. Came out 6-0 today until we let in a crap goal at the end.
That
should have
sucks.
been a shutout.
I hate that.
Yeah, it should have been a shutout, but
as a former goalie, but that also that's the first time they scored in the first period.
Yeah. I mean, it was the first time we've really come out and played well.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like we got our legs back underneath us after,
You could tell they were nervous. They were rolling today. How about that fight at the end, dude?
Oh my goodness. Holy cow.
There were bodies flying everywhere, there's blood everywhere. I told the
cheap shot though.
Oh yeah. I told the people at Buffalo, I took my kids to Buffalo Wild Wings, which they loved, by the way. It was awesome. It was just me and my kids. We were sitting there, 73 TVs. I walk in there, they have no hockey on, they have no golf on. And I'm like, hey, can I save everybody in here real quick? Because I don't want to watch the draft. I mean, I love the draft. Don't get me wrong, I've already seen it though. I was like, can you put the hockey game on here? And can you I put the hockey game on at the end. You could see everybody who was probably not paying attention to hockey was immediately watching hockey when they showed everybody locked up and just punching each other in the face. And I was like, I just did hockey a favor right there. You're welcome. Now people are probably going to tune in to watch hockey. So,
well, not if ESPN doesn't pick up their slack. Their coverage of hockey, their studio show is like, I would be embarrassed if I was ESPN looking at that and seeing what TNT's doing.
Oh, well, I mean, like ESPN now has the NBA guys. Those guys are hilarious. Shaq and Chuck and Kenny and all those dudes. Like, and then you put out that, like,
yeah,
all you can talk about is PK Subban's outfits.
I mean, it's just bad.
It's bad.
And I know you gotta do a studio show, but it's like,
get somebody with some juice in there.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's bad.
Yeah, they got no chemistry. It's I don't know. I think ESPN just they've got hockey, but they're not. They can suppress it if they want.
They got hockey because they lost the NBA.
Yeah, but they don't want the hockey to be the number 2 sport. They want NBA or WNBA to be the number 2 sport. By the way, I saw that the Jets on the NFL Network or wherever had the longest playoff drought.
Yeah, because the Sabres.
Well, they said in the 5 major sports now, NFL, NHL, MLB, NBA, and WNBA. And I was like, there's not 5 major. Would you stop? You can't just throw the WNBA in there and expect people to believe.
I'll tell you what, though, this run, I mean, when the Sabres won 10 in a row, I started paying attention a little more because I've fallen off the map with the Sabres a little while just because of how bad they've been and it's so much else going on in my life. But the month of April, I've kind of watched them religiously, like watched every single game. My wife's like, since when do you like watching hockey? And it occurred to me that, I mean, the Sabres went 14 years without being in the playoffs. Me and my wife have been married 8 years, dated 2 or 3 years before that. So, like, my wife probably has no idea who the Buffalo Sabres is.
There's no hockey J-by.
No. And it's just like, hey, I mean, I got all these jerseys. I got like 4 jerseys. I got shirts. Yeah, I got all the gear. She's like, what is this? I didn't know we watched hockey. And I was like, the Sabres are back. Like, it's a big deal.
Well, the thing is, like,
listening to watching the game on Sunday on the pod, the heartbreak of the letdown of game 2, and then game 3 on Thursday before the draft. Like, I didn't watch any of the draft until the Sabres game was over. And I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, I didn't know that I missed that excitement of being a fan and being in a tight game, because when football would end, I would have 7 months,
6 or 7 months
until football started to just reset and do whatever. But now I'm just like locked in because I got that excitement. I got that juice back. And I'm just like,
there's nothing like it, dude.
If this can continue and then gives me a month to reset for football, oh, buddy.
Yeah, there is nothing like playoff hockey. Like when your team is in it, oh my gosh, dude.
And playing well too.
And I love like that it's every other night. So every other night you got something to look forward to. Like you got, everybody goes to bed and you settle in with the sweater on and you You just sit there on the edge of your seat on every single pass, every single time up the ice, every single shift. It's the best, dude. And I hope some people at Buffalo Wild Wings, not a sponsor, but should be a sponsor, come on the show. That we just bumped up the hockey viewership a little bit with my. Also, shout out to Anze Kopitar, who retired after the Kings got spanked. That game, that series was never close. McKinnon finally got on the board today. Cale Makar had an absolutely filthy goal in this game. That was sick. So, but we'll wait for Tex to tell us about the Penguins. And then we got the Mammoth and the Golden. Anything else, J-Bob? I mean, this is your...
No, another thing I did on Thursday night, too, was, I had the game on we got this bead board that I had to put up at the house. So I put this bead board up.
Right.
Now my wife's like, I want you to paint the bead board. I'm like, well, why didn't I just buy the bead board already painted? But anyway, so I'm having to paint this bead board now white. And I got the game on. It's like, you can't watch something on your phone and also, paint and stuff. So it's basically like I felt like I was listening to the game on the radio. And it's like you get locked into how the announcer changes his inflection, does everything. I'm just like, man, this is like this is what it was like in the 50s when you're like, all right, let's tune into the game. And I was like, I can get down with that though every once in a while. Like I think that should be fantasy football punishment. Is the next year you have to listen to every game on the radio. You can't watch it.
Every football game?
Yeah, you can't watch it on TV. You have to listen to every game on the radio if you lose fantasy football.
That's a good challenge, dude. Oh my gosh. Oh, that would be brutal.
I think it would be awesome. I think you would.
I just love watching football though. Like
I know that, but like I think that you would find yourself enjoying it.
I think I would enjoy it. I would just be driving everywhere because I'd be like, I feel like I need to be in my car whenever I'm listening to something like this.
I also think there's a difference between radio broadcasters who know that they can't, like their, I guess, clientele or customers can't see it, and is more descriptive than what's being broadcast on TV.
Well, I'll say this, and I mean no disrespect to this or to David Jackson about this, because we all love David Jackson. I think he is one of the best team radio broadcasters there was. But like, I don't enjoy him as much on the ESPN Plus as I did on the radio.
Well, I think it's because he has to be somewhat unbiased or biased.
I think that's probably a lot of it, but I think he's more descriptive when he's on the radio, which he has to be because he's describing everything. But I think there's more fill for advertisements on TV too. So I don't know. I don't feel like he ever gets into a real groove of calling a game like he does on the radio.
Gosh, he was so good, dude.
I know. I loved him on the radio, and I still like him now. I don't think I don't have to like make everybody be quiet in the room to listen to him call a game on TV, whereas I would if he's doing radio.
Let me wreck this for you. Are you mad that you don't get Doc Emmerich for a Sabres game?
Yeah.
That guy. They keep trying to make Kenny Albert, but I just can't. Kenny Albert's great, but he's just not. It's not. He just doesn't have it. I'm sorry. Also, that was the first time that the Bruins had been shut out 4-0 in a playoff game since '91 against the Hartford Whalers. How about that? So, all right. 2 to 3 minutes of NBA. The Timberwolves. They lost Anthony Edwards. He has a bone bruise. I saw that he hyperextended his knee, so that sucks.
They still won, though.
They still won. Oh, yeah. So is he a system NBA player, as people are saying. And the Raptors won. The Celtics beat the wheels off the 76ers. Wembanyama came back. They beat the Trailblazers. Good to get that owner out of here. The Lakers and the Rockets, I think, played today. And I screenshotted the wrong part of the scoreboard. So that's the end of the NBA discussion.
All right.
I saw LeBron threw an alley-oop to his son.
Oh, yeah. And LeBron had a steal and a game winner.
I'll actually say this. I didn't actually see the play, but whenever we were going to bed, the interview of him was on. So I heard that he threw up the thing to his son.
Let's go.
He said he saw the shuffle. He goes, I've seen him doing that shuffle for 18 years. I knew he was going to jump to dunk it.
the Thunder are going to sweep the Suns. That sucks. And the Knicks and the Hawks. Knicks won. They finally won on the road. They didn't blow a game late, but so you got Knicks and Hawks. That's a series. Cavs and Raptors. That's a series. And then Orlando's leading the Pistons, who's the number 1 seed. They beat the Magic, or they beat the Pistons the other day, or the Magic beat the Pistons the other day. So
could have been the Hornets.
There you go. NBA talk, huh? Good job, everybody. Good NBA talk.
That was the closest to 3 minutes we've ever been, I think.
That was. Seriously. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. Sorry. I knew somebody else got hurt for the Timberwolves. I couldn't remember. Every player who tore their Achilles the last 2 playoffs wore number 0. Damian Lillard a couple years ago. Tyrese Halliburton, I think right before the finals or in the finals. And then Jason Tatum last year. And now Dante DiVincenzo towards Achilles. Everybody was wearing number 0. Cursed. Get it out, right?
Load management.
Don't.
Need to strengthen their tendons.
You need to strengthen your knees. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yep. Bone on bone. Worst we've ever seen. Doctor's never seen anything like it. I don't hear that 20 times a day. A lot of people just barely hanging on here. Anyways, that's NBA. Okay. Do we hit the football drop or do we do this?
You got to. Yeah, you got to.
Okay. All right. Let's do this.
Football. Yay.
20 minutes in, and that's what everybody's here for. Ladies and gentlemen, the NFL draft. I freaking love the NFL draft, man. Thursday night was just so incredible. It was just great. Sitting there, watching people get drafted, watching people probably yelling at their screens. But I will say this, and we got grades. I got in-depth grades, boys. Okay? In-depth grades. This NFL draft drew a record 805,000 fans in Pittsburgh, topped the previous mark of 775,000 set in Detroit 2024, easily surpassing the initial forecast of 500 to 700,000. So, does that do anything for you?
No.
Okay. It is always cool to see, like, wow, look at all those people just meeting up to just watch. Not even watch football, just watch.
And like there are people choosing to like stand in the far right bottom corner.
Yes.
Like you can't even see the screen on.
Yeah, you can't see anything. You can just hear it. And think about like, they're all smashing beers too. They go take a leak. They're losing their spot. They're way back there, on the next street over about in.
They sung a national anthem before this thing.
Love that.
What? Incredible, dude. Also, I had no idea that was a giant screen in between the bridge right there until they started playing stuff on it. None. The first round of the draft clocked in at 2 hours and 53 minutes, a sign that the shift from 10 minutes to 8-minute pick limit is paying off. The inaugural draft under Goodell in 2007 ran over 6 hours. Give me that back. Give me this stupid 8-minute rule. The broadcast was awful. I told you it wasn't going to work. You had no time to pan to the crowd to see all the stupid fans, the crazy fans with all their nonsense on, clapping and all this stuff. It was so jammed together. You just didn't get to enjoy it.
I loved it.
And the picks ran before the broadcast could even catch up. So you already knew the picks if you were on the internet.
Here's the thing though. It's like the first round, like the first 10 picks seemed like it was rushed. I'll give you that. But after that, dude, what's even more rushed is when you're in round 6 and 7. Because they don't even announce them. They're just like, pick us in, here it is. Pick us in, here it is. Pick it in.
Yeah, 4 people got picked while we were going at commercial break.
Yeah, and I was like, good gracious. Like, maybe that's what they need to start doing. It's just literally sending the zingers in instead of having all these random people come out and go and announce it,
Yeah,
I just don't.
Michael Keaton showed up. Did you see?
Take the analysts away. I don't need them. Give me 8-minute rounds. Give me showing Goodell or whoever announces the pick, the player for a little bit. Then give me a 2-minute highlight of his best plays so I can see what he did. And then give me the next pick
is coming in. Yeah.
Give me the next pick.
I said that too. Like, I wish somebody would put these analysts breakdown of the previous draft, or previous drafts for players that were not worth it, right? Like Cade, right? Oh, he's a great money ball, long dude. Shot. This, and I'm like
we've seen flashes.
Are you kidding me?
Like, did you not watch this guy at all play a full game?
Yeah.
So I would love to sit there and especially now the internet's got receipts, So
I mean, I don't know how many times Booger can say, his best football is ahead of him. He just needs that fire. I'm just like,
yeah.
Everybody, they're always like, "Hey, we've seen the flashes." Like, no shit, dude. Like,
they're playing the only thing you watch is the highlights. That's the flashes.
You know, splashes, freaking hot oil out of a pan all the time. Doesn't mean it cook anything. Flash all the time, dude.
Yeah,
you're not going to get that though. But you want them not to have that stuff. The whole point of them doing this because they want to prop up their analysts. They have like 4 different broadcasts.
Saying that you want that. You're saying you want that.
No. That's what more time between.
That's what more time between.
You're trying to make it something it's not. You're trying to make it something it's not.
I'm trying to make it something better.
I want more football. Sometimes the commentators will be talking over. Of course they would, because that's all they want to do, Jason. They want to this.
The mics were terrible. At least Goodell's podium mic was terrible to start the draft too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a bad broadcast all over. But just give me the picks and get out.
Sometimes the commentators will be talking over. Hey, Nat,
you want more football because your hockey team's not playing.
I just want more football all the time. I'm sorry. Sue me that I would love to sit there and watch people show highlights and talk about football for 6 hours. Thought we were football guys.
I'd rather just watch the highlights and not hear.
You're so conditioned to Netflix right now that you can't. You're like my kids, dude. You got to have a show that lasts 10 minutes.
Nope.
Just saying.
I watch Survivor, dude. Those episodes are an hour and a half.
That's what you're conditioned to. Then it's embarrassing. Okay. Here are the drafts. Great. This is an extensive process, boys. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that right now. The draft grades are out. Okay. Don't pay attention to the numerical order on the left. That means nothing.
I got some notes too about the draft. We need to break up before this is over. So don't leave the draft before I get.
We're not going to leave. I got more after this. I got a couple of things we can tie in, dude. This is so don't pay attention to the numbers on the left here. And if you can't see when you're listening to the podcast, I have numbers on the left, then the team logo in a column, and then the reasoning, and then the grade. So left to right, that's what it looks like. I just had this graphic that I used for the pre-draft talk, and then I just subbed out all the teams that had multiple picks, so I didn't have to keep recycling graphics. Takes a long time to make this stuff, by the way. But anyways, okay. The first pick in the draft, boys, was the Las Vegas Raiders. They took Mendoza. We're going to give them a B+, the Raiders. Okay. The reason for that is they drafted 1 wide receiver, 1 offensive lineman. This was a fix the defense draft. And I know they made a whole bunch of moves in the offseason, but their offensive line was awful, and they have nobody that can catch the football for Fernando Mendoza. So that gets them B+, just because they made so many moves in the offseason.
But doesn't every terrible team that drafts a quarterback, either a number 1 or number 2 in the draft, has a terrible offensive line and no receivers?
That's why they're picking number 1.
Exactly. Let me remind you that the Jacksonville Jaguars didn't have anything either when they picked T-Law.
He set you up right there.
I'm just letting you know.
What about Houston when they drafted G.U.Y.S?
Same thing. Terrible. And then
about the Chargers when they drafted DJ Ujumam.
But then they build a team around them. Like that's what they try to do, but it never works because nobody never develops anybody anymore. So
no, they still haven't fixed their draft, by the way. But they took Mendoza, and then again, like I said, they took 1 offensive lineman, 1 wide receiver. So they drafted.
Is that a cocky offensive-minded head coach coming in saying, "I can just win with whatever"?
Exactly. Well, see McVay and see Shanahan. I mean, holy smokes, dude. We'll get to them, but there you go. So the Raiders in the AFC West, B+. The Jets pick second, A+ for the Jets. Do we agree or no?
A+.
A+. A+ for the Jets.
100.
Yes, perfect. Asterisk until they pick Cade Klubnik. A+. Winners.
Right? Yeah, you know why they pick Cade though, because they're trying to get some stock to where they can trade him into something else. So that's the only reason.
I don't. They need a quarterback. They have Geno, for crying out loud.
I agree, but I'm just saying though that he won't. He might take a couple snaps throughout the year, but he won't stay there longer than 2 years at the Jets.
Oh no. He won't be there. He'll be a career backup probably. But they drafted David Bailey, then Sadiq, then Omar Cooper, D'Angelo Pons, and then they drafted Cade Klubnik, and it was like, man, they won the draft with the first like 4 picks. I was like, that is really good talent, and they won the draft over Ty Simpson. Agree or disagree?
I can see your point there. Yeah,
I like their draft. I just love Kenyon Sadiq. I think he's a freak show. That's just me. J-Bye, any dispute? Are you nervous about the Jets in the AFC East?
No, I'm not.
A+?
No.
Or would you not an A+? Okay.
Well, you just gave me a knock on the Klubnik pick, so you can't give a. If you get a question wrong, you can't get 100.
I had already wrote down the A+, and then I read through all their draft picks again. I was like, oh my gosh, they drafted Klubnik, so I had to put that in there. So some people look at that and be like, oh, they got a quarterback. I'm like, have you watched this guy play? I watched him play multiple games.
Yeah.
He's awful.
I mean, he's Justin Fields.
Hey, there you go. PK Wortman. No, Justin Fields was way better than Cade Klubnik in college.
In college. Yeah, okay. I'll give you that.
What happens if Ty Simpson is a Hall of Famer? I don't know if Sean McVay's going to be there to find out. The Bills' grade will be in the next page. The Cardinals, they get a C. They get a C because they took Jeremiah Love when they really didn't need to take Jeremiah Love. And then I was like, their defense was awful last year, and they only drafted 2 defensive players.
Yeah.
Like, they drafted a running back they did not need at the time, and then they proceeded. I should have given them a worse grade. I guess because Jeremiah Love is actually really good, but C. What do we think?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would agree with that.
Okay. By the way, I love draft grades because they're just, all this stuff is made up. It's made up. But it's funny to put letters on it. People are like, how in the world? I'm like, I literally did this while drinking my coffee this morning, just looking through everybody's draft.
Well, and that's why I asked you to clarify it too. Like, are you tying people to the draft, or are you tying what the team needed for the draft? Like, if the committee's going to meet, you got to put some rules on it.
The committee met, and I was looking at team needs, and I looked at some of the, I looked at their draft, and then I would do some research. I'd type something in and be like for the, who was it? It was the, can't remember who it was, but it was somebody. I was looking up their defense, and I was like, why did they not draft any defense? It might have been, I can't remember who it was. Dad, blame it. It could have been the Cardinals. Wherever I looked them up, and I was like, they only drafted 2 players. I remember their defense really sucking. Oh my God, their defense was awful, and they did nothing to address it. Nothing. But that's another offensive-minded coach. He was a LaFleur. So, the Tennessee Titans, Bob Salah and crew, C+. This was the build around Cam Ward draft because they took, that's what I just quoted it as. It's a build around Cam Ward because they took Carnell Tate. Then they took Nick Singleton out of Penn State. He's a good running back. Pat Coogan, the center, he started a gajillion games. I love that pick. And then Jaron Kanak from Oklahoma. So a lot of tight ends. And then Fernando Carmona. So they drafted a lot of offensive guys. So they're saying, hey, we got our guys built around him. C+.
It was a lot of tight end. It was a lot of tight ends picked. That kind of surprised me. Because it's not, I think there was a couple of them that were like true athletes, but there was no like, I feel like stellar, just straight meatheads, and had
Kenyon Sadiq was kind of the only one.
And then it was almost like Can you block? Yes. All right. Can you go out 5 yards and catch this dump off? All right. Got it. You're in.
Everybody's trying to get back to 12 personnel, 2 tight ends on the field because they think that they can match up better with the defense that way.
Well, that's what I was saying in the group match. Like I said, Sean McVay showed how much he could do with 3 tight ends. And now everybody's copycat league, dude.
Yeah.
Like teams spent months or years building their defense to stop the perimeter pass game and the RPO and the bubble screens and the extension of the run game.
How many teams run nickel D now?
Yeah. I mean, that's how Seattle just won the damn Super Bowl with Eamon Warry.
Yeah. That's what the Bills have been doing for 7 years.
Well, they haven't won a Super Bowl, so.
Yeah, well, it's coach's fault, apparently.
Giants, A. They got the first round had them in the quote won the draft category because they took who'd they take? They took the dude from Ohio State. Arbel Reese.
Which one? They had 20 of them drafted.
They took Arbel Reese and they took Francis Maui Goa, the tackle from Miami. And they took Colton Hood.
Yeah.
That was a good pick too.
That guy's huge.
Yes. So shout out to the Giants. A. Anybody dispute that?
You're going media, trying to please the media in New York.
Dude, they had a good draft. I'm not saying they're going to be good. I'm saying they had a good draft.
Trying to take care of Dart, or are they trying to get a run offensive line for old Scattaboo?
Well, you see, there was a video somebody made of Scattaboo. It was some crazy person hosting everybody. Like, you just have to watch it. I'll send it to you. The Chiefs, B-. Okay, everybody agree? Chiefs, B-.
For what reason?
Well, they drafted 4 defensive players in a row. They traded up to get the corner. Then they took the dude from Clemson. Then they took a guy named R. Mason Thomas, which he then said R doesn't mean anything, which is kind of interesting. Yeah. And then they took a quarterback with their last pick. So quarterback controversy in Kansas City, correct?
I don't think it's a controversy.
Nussmeier.
He can start week 1.
So I'm saying.
I don't think it's a controversy, though. I think they're just going to sit there and let him be trained up for a while. I was surprised they took Woods that early.
The dude from Clemson?
Yeah, the defensive tackle.
They got rid of what's-his-face, the cornerback, so Chenal left. Like, they had some holes to fill on defense.
McDuffie's gone.
Yep. The Commanders, D. They get a D.
Dude,
sorry.
No way, dude. For what reason?
What do you mean for what reason? They have an old defense. Yes, they signed Leo Chenal, and there was some other guy that they signed. I can't remember what his name is. Nick Cross. So they made some signings, but holy smokes, dude. I was looking at their draft, and I'm like, okay, they took Antonio Williams from Clemson, who was a wide receiver.
Yeah, it was a great pick.
Josh Josephs, edge guy from Tennessee.
Antonio Williams is going to be stout. I mean, he's.
Oh my God!
I'm
not the Clemson hour, dude.
I'm just letting you know he's going to be great. Like he's not going to be, probably like the guy, but he is definitely the number 2 guy that can always rest assured that he's got the ball. And maybe that's Washington's scheme is they're saying we're going to build a hell of an offense and outscore everybody. As long as the defense can at least slow them down, we're good.
Their defense is so old. But that's what I'm saying. They drafted all offense. They drafted 2 defensive players. Yeah, they got Sonny Styles. And they drafted the quarterback from Rutgers.
What?
The Greek freak. Yeah. Ethan Kalikmanis. Yeah. So I don't know what they were doing.
Why would they draft another young quarterback?
Dude, I don't know. I looked at their draft. I was like, what is this? Were they drunk? Like, what is this? So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I drafted the running back from Penn State, too, and I don't know. It was just a weird draft. Basically, what I did when I calculated in my brain, I was like, that is a weird draft. That's a D. I'm sorry. So, that's the Commanders. The Saints, C-. Why do they have a C-? Because They drafted a ton of wide receivers. I don't know about that.
They got their new young quarterback.
I don't know about that Jordan Tyson guy. Everybody says he's good, but his hamstrings are already blown out. And I know for a fact he's not doing what he needs to do to fix them. So they drafted Trey Lance's brother, too.
All you have to do is stretch your hamstrings. You're good. Dude.
Oh, my gosh. Got to come through the screen here. So Saints, C-. Their defense was not bad, but they needed some defensive help. I remember looking at that. Maybe that's the one I looked up. But they didn't really do. They drafted that defensive tackle from Georgia. But anyways, the Browns, A. They made 5 or 10 picks. They had 5 SEC players. That should have gotten them actually a C. I don't know. I was
about to say, look at you turn into an old bandwagon guy.
No, I think I gave them an A because of their. Hold on. Why did I give them an A? I don't remember. Oh, they drafted that tackle, Spencer Fano, and then they drafted 3 wide receivers. I'm pretty sure.
I guess they thought they got 7 quarterbacks, so they need more receivers for them.
Yeah. Need more guys for them to throw to during practice.
Oh, they drafted the quarterback for Arkansas.
Shut up.
Taylor Green, yes. They actually did draft him. I forgot about that. I need to change their grade. That's not
how many quarterbacks do they have now?
I don't know. They got Dylan Gabriel,
Deshaun Watson, and
Deshaun, Taylor Green. Oh, they drafted the safety from Toledo. I like their first 4 picks. That's what it was. I like their first 4 picks. That's what it was. So, okay. Cincinnati, the Bengals, ladies and gentlemen, they get a B-. I love their first pick, Cassius Howe. He was the defensive player of the year for Texas A&M in the SEC. And I basically gave him a B- because they made a trade for Dexter Lawrence. And that was a really smart move, right?
So they traded for a defensive tackle, and in the first round they drafted a defensive tackle.
And then they drafted more defense. They actually had a smart draft, so I was like, okay, that's good enough for at least a B. But their offensive line sucks. That's why I couldn't give them an A, because they drafted 2 centers.
Competition, dude.
I guess so, dude. So,
gotta have a backup center.
Yep. Cowboys, B+. I couldn't give them an A. I just couldn't do it. Everybody's heralding the Cowboys. What are your guys' thoughts on the Cowboys? I gave them B+ on paper, but we know it's not going to matter when they stat the ball.
Yeah, they didn't address the issue at quarterback, and they traded a draft pick to their rivals.
Idiots!
Can't do it.
Fleeced.
Can't do it. Only
That's
the
why
Bills
they
can do that.
Yeah, only the Bills and the Niners can just keep trading until they trade themselves completely into the next year. Idiots. But they drafted Caleb Downs and then Malachi Lawrence. That was their 2 big ones. So, but the pressure's on deck, just like we said. They had 3 edge rushers. They were not going to come out of there without having pass rushers. I think Jerry Jones misses what's-his-face, Parsons? I believe so. He's having that's a what do they call that? He's compensating. So, all right, the Dolphins, C+. They had the most picks in the draft, 13. And what I noticed about the Miami Dolphins, boys, that was a culture / leadership draft for the Dolphins. Because they drafted Jacob Rodriguez, Michael Taffy from Texas.
I wanted the Bills to get him.
Yeah.
Yes, Jacob, freak show. And then there was another guy, Kyle Lewis from Pittsburgh. They drafted a bunch of dudes that were seniors that had played a lot of football. That's what they did. So what's his face? Hafley's come in there and been like, hey,
we might go 0-16, but we're going to do it the right way.
That's exactly right. C+ for the Dolphins. I feel like next time I got to make a graphic about grouping all these together. Okay. So the Dolphins get a C+, right? Anybody disagree? Anybody have any comment?
No.
Rams, No idea. D- for obvious reasons. What a terrible draft, dude. What a joke. They drafted Ty Simpson with the 13th pick and then proceeded to draft one wide receiver out of Miami. I don't know what they were doing. Supposedly they're in win now mode, but you wouldn't know it.
Stetson Bennett's days numbered.
Hey, did you hear what McVay said? Like all the videos of McVay coming out of like, he was so mad.
Sounded like, he didn't have a choice in the draft.
He said he'll compete with Stetson for the backup. Basically didn't even acknowledge it.
There were some reporters saying, "Were you aware of this pick?" And like, I was aware. Like I didn't agree with it, but I was aware.
Like, okay. It's like when I tell my kids, "Did you see what you see? I didn't pee." Like, yeah, I was aware. But yeah. So D- for the Rams. They have such a good coach that it really doesn't matter what they do. So
I don't know, or is it controversy between the head coach and the back office now?
Could be,
or the front office,
or he and Stafford going out together. Like they're going to retire together.
Retire early, retire young. I like that.
He could do TV. The Ravens got an A-. Their first 4 picks were really, really good. That's why I like that. I hate to say that too. They also drafted a punter, which is awesome. Dude out of Michigan State, Ryan Eckley. They drafted Adam Randall, running back from Clemson Edge. There you go.
I'm surprised he went that late, dude. He was pretty good.
Apparently not, because he went in the 5th round, dude.
No, maybe just these scouts are a bunch of idiots.
Well, this is what the draft grades say, dude. I love the guard they took from Penn State. He is such a Ravens dude. Vega Ione, what a name. That's a Ravens name. Tampa Bay A-. People are gonna be like, what? Tampa Bay? Yeah, A-. They did a really good job of drafting people that were really close to where they're to Miami or to Tampa Bay.
Clemson.
The draft. Do what?
Capehart. They drafted defensive tackle from Clemson.
Oh yeah, they did. Capehart. Yes.
Capehart.
They also drafted somebody from LSU. They drafted somebody from Miami, from Georgia State, from Missouri, from Miami. Reuben Bain, who had the greatest entrance ever to the draft stage, where he just walked right by the camera, snatched the hat like he was so mad. That dude is he's gonna destroy people. I'm convinced of it.
How could you be mad that you get drafted?
Well, he's just like, I don't have time for all this glitz and glamour. Just spot the ball. I want to go tackle somebody. I need to go kick somebody's face in. Okay. The Falcons, C+, but they hit every need. I have no idea why the committee wrote that.
Dude, Jesus.
Hit every need.
But you got to see. Like these sound like my grades in college, man. Like you did everything great, but you
met expectations. That's what they did. It's like your job review. You can't get higher than a 3 here, guys.
Yeah.
Met expectations. They reunited the Terrell brothers. That was pretty cool. Another Clemson guy. Well, how did Clemson get so many people drafted yet suck, Edge? Explain that to us.
Oh, I got something for you. Just wait.
Same as Ohio State. They didn't win a national championship.
Agreed. They took that guy from Georgia. The receiver who almost got arrested. So they hit all their green boxes were hit on their needs. So way to go. They should be really good, right? C+. The Lions get a B because they were addicted to drafting hometown guys from Michigan. They can't help themselves. They drafted 2 more guys from Michigan, just like what's his face, the defensive end.
Blake Miller's not from Michigan.
Okay, another Clemson guy. Wow. No, the pass rusher. What's his name?
Don't know. Blake Miller's not from Michigan, so therefore your graphic's completely wrong now.
No, I'm saying they drafted 2 guys from Michigan. Who's the pass rusher they have right there, right now? The dude from Michigan.
Aiden Hutchinson.
Yes, that guy. I couldn't remember his damn name.
I thought you were talking about the dude from Clemson. I'm like,
no.
I was like, how does Clemson have so many pass rushers drafted they couldn't get to the quarterback?
No. But by the way, Ed, the graphics right because it says addicted to hometown defensive guys. Blake Miller's an offensive tackle.
That was my point. Yeah, he's offensive tackle. Yeah.
That was my point, is that they draft defensive guys from Michigan.
Guys are arguing about two different things.
They get a B, whatever. The Vikings, they got a C-. Dylon chimes in. Oh, they got number 2 D. Yeah, well, that was whenever they had safeties. They need safety help, and they didn't get it. They drafted one safety.
They also picked a guy in the first round based off his 2019 film. Like, dude hadn't played in like 3 years. His highlight tape was like an actual tape. Like, it wasn't.
He's got a foot injury, and he's another one. Hey, this guy hasn't played his best football yet.
They didn't bring out a DVD to watch the guy's highlight tape from the last time he played, and they drafted him in the first round.
I do like the linebacker they took from Cincinnati. He's a cool story. And they're running back from Damon Claiborne from Wake Forest. He's pretty good. He might see a lot of playing time. But C- for the Vikings. The Panthers get an A+. Huh? They had a pretty good draft, boys. I feel like they did it right. They just drafted who was there, best available. Monroe Freeling, the guy from the tackle from Georgia. They got insane value plus upside, according to one graphic that I saw. That gives him an A+. Dan Morgan's turn that thing around, boys. What?
Yeah, just because I saw a graphic, they're getting an A.
That's right.
A+.
A+, dude. Them and the Jets.
But the Falcons made they hit every box too. They got a C.
Yeah, they got a C.
I can't wait for somebody to comment on that. Oh my gosh, dude.
The hometown effect.
The Eagles got a won the trades moves model. Plus they drafted that dude from Nigeria. You remember that guy, Edge?
Yes.
They drafted him. They get a B+. I can't give him an A because I hate the Eagles. So
how does Philly still like just kill it in the draft?
Well, they traded for Jonathan Grenard in the middle of the draft.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. What was it, like 2 years ago? They drafted everybody from Georgia, and it was just
everybody's doing that now.
Yeah, like, I mean, Clemson got.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think there's one team later that did that. Like, everybody's drafted like just piles of people from the same defense. A lot of people drafted Texas A&M defenders too. So, but anyways, so they get a B+. And they drafted Mekhi Lemon, which was hilarious because the Steelers were on the phone with Mekhi Lemon, and then the Eagles traded up to get him, and it was hilarious. But they got it from Dallas, so they fleeced Dallas.
I can't wait to watch that guy from Nigeria play.
Oh my gosh, dude! Cannot wait. It's gonna be incredible. The hometown Steelers, they did that guy rocks draft model, except for Drew Alar. They had a that guy rocks draft. Like, some of the dudes they took were freaking phenomenal. They got the guy from Arizona State, the tackle. Then they took Jeremy Bernard. That guy rocked because he was a freaking highlight reel. Jennings Dunker, he's the mullet guy with the red hair. Caden Wheatgen from Iowa, he was the receiver return specialist. He's electric. And then they took the running back from Navy. That was awesome.
That was legit.
Eli.
And he's from Pittsburgh.
Yes, that was a cool moment.
Yeah, that was pretty legit.
That's that guy rocks draft, dude. I told you. B+.
It's the first time somebody from Service Academy has been drafted, isn't it?
I have a graphic for it. I can't remember. It says it on there, though. The Chargers get an A-. This is a Harbaugh draft. They had 4 offensive linemen they took, and I think Akeem Mesidor might be might have the best season of anybody. Book it right now. Love it. Anybody disagree on the Chargers?
No.
Jacksonville boys. They got a D+. I don't know what they were doing. I was reading through like, what is the plan here? They drafted 2 tight ends, and the first pick of their draft in the second round was a tight end from Texas A&M who had 19 catches last year.
Can he block?
He's a good blocker.
I don't know. he's going to compete with Quentin Morris and Hunter Long for snaps. So it says he has strong hands and sufficient ball skills. He's unlikely to create consistent separation. So he'll need to win against zone coverage. He lacks a sudden change of speed.
Jesus.
As a blocker, he
did this guy
frequently
get
works
drafted?
on the edge.
First pick.
He struggles to move defenders because of an average punch strength, but he does a good job of sustaining blocks once engaged.
Like, is he somebody in the office kid or something? Like,
I don't know. It's the weirdest pick of the draft as far as I'm concerned. I don't know. Weird, right?
yeah.
So that's why I gave him a D+. I saw it. I was like, what is going on here? The Colts, they get what do they get? A B-. They went with the SEC philosophy and the Big Ten. I think all of their picks were from the SEC or the Big Ten. So
yeah,
I like their safety, AJ Halsey. They drafted. He could be good. The Bears, they had 7 picks, 4 defensive, 3 offensive. The Cooper DeJean effect, they get a B because they drafted that white safety, the exciting white.
Yeah.
From Oregon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thieneman. There you go. Any thoughts on the Bears? No?
No.
Okay. Houston, they get a B+. They needed more offensive line help, which they drafted 2 guards. And then they drafted that dude from Ohio State, Cade McDonald, which is another freak for their defensive front. So they're going to be a problem.
And Woodez.
Oh, they did draft Woodez. That's right. The linebacker.
Dude, he's going to be great. He's very Luke Kuechly-ish. Like, just
whoa, buddy.
Meathead, just it's like Scattaboo on defense.
Love that comparison. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Denver gets a C. Their first pick was in the 3rd round. That was hilarious. And they drafted 2 tight ends because they can't find one. So not really much to say about the Broncos other than they get a C because I'm not really sure what they were doing. The Patriots, 2 offensive linemen picked after their Super Bowl performance where they got absolutely boat raced on the offensive line. They took Caleb Lomu, and then they took another tackle, Demetrius Crownover from Texas A&M. They get a C-.
So rumor had it that the Patriots were gunning hard for
AJ Brown?
No, Woods, because they brought him up there like 6 times apparently and was like questioning him and talking to him and all that stuff.
Huh.
So everybody's mock draft that you list to on the Tigers, was like, yeah, he's going to the Patriots. He's going to be a Patriot. So I don't know if it's because they got stole first and they had to pivot or what, but.
Well, they needed more offensive linemen after what just happened to them in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was a rookie offensive lineman, so they drafted 2 new rookie offensive linemen.
Well, I mean, everybody says they're not going to move Campbell to they guess they drafted Lomu to play right tackle, but
I don't know. Campbell's just not big enough to play tackle, in my opinion.
No. Well, clearly he gave up 15 pressures in the Super Bowl. The 49ers, they get a D. I don't know how many times I have to sit through a draft in this regime where I'm like, what the hell are we doing? They trade out of the 1st round. They just keep trading back. In a draft, everybody says, hey, the 4th through the 7th rounds are dead because of NIL. And they trade all the way back into the 4th and 7th rounds because they think it's like fantasy football. I don't know what they're doing. Apparently, they have a scheme of drafting on pure athleticism because I looked at their athletic draft. I have the chart for that too. I don't know what they're doing. We have an elite head coach and play caller. That's what, and they can just make it all work and they drafted Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
Other than that, their draft sucks. So they took the guy from freaking Ole Miss, the receiver, and they took the other defensive end from freaking Texas Tech. And I'm just like, what are we doing here? They reach on a running.
Speaking of Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant this year came from shout out G.U.Y.S, Buffalo.
Yep.
Let's go. We did draft a guy with an awesome name. His name's Ephesian Prysock, a cornerback from Washington. That's a sick name.
That's a weird name.
J.Vi, the Bills get a B-. Would you agree with that draft?
Well, you didn't give us credit for drafting a punter like you did the Ravens. So that should bump us to an A.
No, that's not how it works.
I'm with
you. Had a punter and you got rid of him, by the way.
I don't really know what we were doing either. I mean, at least Brandon Beane has figured out like he's not good at drafting in the first round, so he always just trades out of it. Doesn't matter who it's to, doesn't matter what it's for. He just trades out of the first round because he's only hit on one person in the first round, and that was Josh Allen. Everybody else he's missed on. So I respect that. But again, it's like they were trying to describe, those trades as a win because, you look at trading back out of the first round gave us the draft picks back that we lost from the DJ Moore trade. So you can say that we got DJ Moore out of all those trade, whatever. But at some point I'm like, have we made more trades this draft than picks? Because that's what it felt like going into day 3.
Look, I knew J.Vi was heartbroken about the draft because I texted him and I said, hey, keeping tradition alive, where the Bills always foam at the mouth for Clemson players. And all he responded was, hope it works, or something like that. Like, he was so pissed. And I was like, dude.
Clemson players.
Yeah. I also didn't know what was going on. Like, I didn't hardly watch any of the draft, honestly.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes a little bit more sense. I was like, dude, TJ Parker's pretty legit. Like, what? I think he'll be fine.
Well, honestly, though, we've drafted defensive ends every single year, Yep. So to me, it's like, I hope this one does work, but also we're changing our defense. We're going to a 3-4 defense now, which is different from what we've been doing. So, I don't
play a little bit more off the ball.
Yeah, is he going to be able to stand up? I don't know. We got rid of Epinesa. Epinesa's not coming back.
Oh wow.
I thought that we would have gone linebacker first. Yeah, because Milano's gone. You're going to trust Dorian Williams to go in. Bernard looked terrible last year. Now, he was injured every other game, but he looked terrible last year. I thought we would have gone for like a Jacob Rodriguez or somebody.
That'd have been filthy.
But I think the reason why we traded out of the first round is because we wanted that safety from Oregon that got drafted right before us at 25.
Oh, the Thieneman.
Yeah.
From the Bears.
I think we wanted him, and they took him. So we were just like, nobody else is graded first round for us. Let's just get out.
Well, the 49ers couldn't rush the passer. We drafted one edge player. We couldn't run the ball. They refused to draft.
Yeah, but they're saying Nick Bosa's coming back. So like, why do we need to draft an edge rusher? We'll have Nick Bosa next year. That's why we couldn't. It's an excuse. That's why we couldn't get to the passer, because Nick Bosa was hurt.
Yeah. Well, I just sit there and watch them never be able to rush the passer last year and not be able to run the football.
They also are changing defenses.
Yeah, but I mean, the worst running game they've had since 2004, and we draft a wide receiver.
That's what you need,
dude.
What
are we doing? We bring in Christian Kirk, Mike Evans. We got Ricky Pearsall. We draft a receiver.
Competition, dude. Hey, they're putting it on Brock Purdy. You said over 33.5 touchdowns this year. They are putting it on Brock Purdy.
I mean, my God, they don't care about running the ball, so you better believe it. The Green Bay Packers, they get a C- because I feel like I didn't even see them draft. I remember John Kuhn walking out there, and I was like, "That's John Kuhn." I think that was John Kuhn. But they had a second-round pick, and then it was pretty much they just draft defense. That's what Green Bay does. They draft defense. They did draft a kicker though. And then Seattle, they drafted pretty much all DBs. It's freaking hilarious. So they know something, obviously, about having elite defensive backs that screws everybody's offenses up. So they drafted 1, 2, 3 cornerbacks and a safety. So there you go. Those are the draft grades. We did it. They get a C. Seattle. There we go. Any rebuttals?
No.
Okay. Capital used to draft defense. The Rams was the worst, and the Kansas City Chiefs drafted the most. The Bills had a nice defensive draft. There you go.
Yeah, I think we're doing a transition on defense this year. I mean, everything.
Wait, the Chief had the most picks?
Well, capital, like draft capital to draft.
Yeah.
They had, like 65% of their picks were defense, I think. This is a cool stat. This is the athletic score versus production score. So the Bears had the most athletic draft, followed by the Bills and the Niners. Production does not match that, but they're athletic.
Yeah.
Ohio State had the most draft picks with 11, then Alabama, Texas A&M, Clemson, Miami, Texas Tech, Georgia, Indiana, Penn State. That's pretty wild.
Does this make Dabo's seat hotter?
No.
What do you mean?
I got some stuff for you. I'm just waiting. Wait.
All right. Diego Pavia becomes the first Heisman finalist since 2014 to go on draft.
Dude, I was crying laughing with G.U.Y.S said. That was hilarious. You're doing it now. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, the hat?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. It was like he had his hat selection on his table laid out for when he got the call to be drafted, which he doesn't have an agent. And he's got all the hats out there, and they're all nice flat bills. And then he's got the Carolina Panthers hat that's just like this old raggedy floppy dad hat. Like, you can't put that on the front, dude.
No.
You can't do it. So that'd have been so funny if the Panthers drafted him. They should have drafted him. That'd have been great. But he ended up he accepted an invitation to Ravens minicamp.
Why would you I don't know. Why would he go there?
He's talking about proving everybody wrong, dude. You're not. Well, I guess Lamar gets hurt every year and then just quits. Halfway through the year.
They're done with Lamar.
They're not done.
He thinks he can win the backup role there.
Who's the back? Is it still Snoop Huntley?
I don't know.
It's just funny. But so this was like the Rams had just an awful draft, dude, all the way around. Kroenke owns the Rams and the Avalanche and the Nuggets, but he wore his Avalanche jersey in the draft room. But the Avalanche are playing the LA Kings. What a jerk, dude.
Wow.
What a jerk. I thought this was a cool graphic. Malik Neighbors and then what's that dude's name? Hood. What's his name? Elijah. Is it Elijah? No, not Elijah Hood. Colton Hood. So, neighborhood. Nice job, Giants. How about this fun fact, boys? Cole Payton selected by the Philadelphia Eagles today, quarterback out of North Dakota State. It's tied for the most quarterback draft selections since 2014. Alabama has 5 quarterbacks drafted. Ohio State has 5 quarterbacks drafted. North Dakota State has 5 quarterbacks drafted.
Dang.
This is 2016.
Good for them.
Good for them.
We'll see if they can win the WAC.
QBU.
Or Mountain West Conference, whatever it is.
Navy's Landon Robinson and Eli Heidenreich were both drafted in the 7th round. It's the first time that 2 Navy players were taken in the NFL draft since 1956.
That's a fullback there.
Yeah.
Let's go, baby.
That's a house.
Let's go. Not a single FCS player was selected in the first 3 rounds of the NFL draft. That hasn't happened in 47 years.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Wow.
All these, we were talking about it with Maru. All these guys get developed and then they just leave. And I said they should get credit for going there, for giving a chance. Like, it shouldn't just be the big school that gets the credit. Like, some of these.
I felt like listening to the draft or watching a little bit that I did. It was like being at, your old high school reunion, and it's like so and so, formerly known as such and such. It was like, Jaden Daniels, LSU, formerly from Arizona State, and
they list all 4 schools that he went to in his 3 years there.
They had to tell you who it was by every school that he's been to instead of just being like, oh, he's from North Dakota State. Yeah, but he was also at Wisconsin and Jacksonville State and whatever.
It just sucks, dude. It just sucks. They're ruining footballs. Ruining football. Oh, this is the Vikings traded to the Eagles, Jonathan Grenard. We already said that. This is funny about Ty Simpson. This is from Albert Breer. Rams GM Les Snead and UT Martin coach Jason Simpson have a very strong relationship to the point where Snead helped advise the family when Jason's son, Ty, was making a decision on whether or not to declare for the draft. Now Ty Simpson is a Ram. Interesting. With their first round pick. And then Matt Stafford's wife DM'd him.
Oh, wow.
Easy.
Well, that he did. She did. Or maybe that was fake. I don't know. But apparently she said, welcome to the.
Well, that was. Is it a joke on how she.
I think Ty Simpson said that. Or maybe I just read the quote wrong. I don't know.
I didn't know if that was a joke on what she did to Matt with the back of.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's. I don't think Ty Simpson knows about that.
He wasn't alive yet.
Only the third quarterback in the Rams ever selected in the first round. The other two, Jared Goff, Sam Bradford. And also shout out Reese's for giving Arvell Reese a Reese's jacket. That's how it started off. All right, Edge, what you got, dude?
All right. All 9 of Clemson. So I got 20 things. I'm just going to scan through these things because this came from the Clemson Insider, which was great.
Oh, gosh.
I know the guy that runs that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He is on the money. So all 9 of Clemson's selections came in the first 5 rounds. Clemson's 9 selections tied Ohio State for the most across rounds 1 through 5, what you just said. Clemson 2025 national champion. Indiana and Florida were the only programs to produce a pick in each of the 5 rounds. So it goes through all this junk, right? And then what I wanted to say all this, but to spite time, I'm gonna save some of it. See, there's something down here that I wanted to shout out earlier.
Wait, some dude just made a whole draft synopsis for Clemson's success.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what we're doing here?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh my God, dude.
Well, hey, you're welcome. At least I'm not talking about the SEC.
I love it. I love it.
Clemson is only
Clemson won the offseason.
Is one of only 6 schools to have produced multiple draft picks in each of the last 24 drafts. LSU, Michigan, Oklahoma, Ohio State, and USC. Dabo Swinney.
Okay. Here it is. Let's hear it.
Brought his career to a total draft selection to 95. He's put 95 grown men in NFL. You're welcome. Plus additional supplemental draft pick, and is the most of any active coach since 2009.
That's only because Saban retired.
He's already past Saban now. Thank you very much.
Because Saban retired.
No, okay. I'm talking about the span from when Saban was coaching. He's already passed it. He's also pushed his total of first round picks to 20. And it's only he and Kirby Smart are now the only active coaches in the nation to have produced 20 or more first-round draft picks.
So why can't they win?
Doesn't matter. Clemson now has at least 3 selections, 17, 18. I already did all that. Multiple defensive draft picks. Yep. 2 picks for round 1. Yep. Already just said that. Selections. Yep. Yeah, okay. There was something else right here. Let me see. Clemson.
You're not. Are you trying to convince us that Clemson's a power?
No, I'm not convincing you of shit. I'm just telling you these damn facts here. You come up here and spend 30 minutes on your bullshit Excel sheet of how you're going to grade a draft. I'm going to spend time up here telling about Clemson.
You can, but it doesn't mean I have to agree with it.
Okay, well, I didn't agree with your ratings there with your C+ student over there. So just chill out. All right, so 9 different teams. Oh yeah, all right, here we go. All right,
I'm not going to believe Clemson's good. You can say all this stuff.
Shut your cake hole. Clemson has had at least one player chosen by 30 of the 32 NFL franchises since 2003. The lone exceptions in that time frame are the Patriots, who last signed a Tiger in 1991, and You guessed it. The Panthers.
What? Really?
Who have never selected a Clemson player despite their first season in franchise history playing at Death Valley.
That's a nugget.
Sweeney has produced a draft pick for 28 of the 32 NFL teams in his head coaching tenure. The only NFL teams not selecting a Clemson player in his head coaching tenure: Chicago Bears, Denver Broncos, New England Patriots, and the Carolina Panthers.
Wow.
Now, that is draft. There's a couple undrafted free agents that went to Carolina Panthers and Denver Broncos, but did not make the team later that year. So, therefore, it doesn't count. But, yeah,
now
there's 20-something things. I'm not reading all this because
you
I'm
say all that to
reader.
say what? What are you trying to get at right here?
The Clemson's a powerhouse, man.
Okay, that's all right.
You come to Clemson.
Duke won the ACC, dude.
Okay. You come to Clemson, you can go to the draft. There's an entire wall over there where Sweeney has changed people's lives, putting them in NFL. You turn on your TV on Sunday, you might as well go ahead and tell Dabo thank you.
Does Dabo care more about getting people in the NFL or winning national championships?
Wow, dude.
Right now it's getting people in the NFL.
Wow.
He's
trying to build his NIL case.
Well, that's because he doesn't pay them. He's got to make it up to them.
That's right. Oh, and it is 100%. Like when we went on that tour for the actual facility, everything is designed now for like getting recruits in the door, and you see NFL all throughout the house because they're like they're trying to push it. Like, hey, Dabo's a powerhouse. When you wear this Paul, the next one you're going to wear the shield. You know.
Okay. Anything else on the draft?
No.
Okay. Sweet, awesome golf this weekend, today, actually. The Fitzpatrick brothers, dude. Matt Fitzpatrick basically carried his brother across the finish line, dude.
He's on fire right now.
Dude, he is on 18. He hit a shot out of the bunker that won him the tournament, basically. He piped a drive on 18, Matt Fitzpatrick, and then his brother hit it in the sand, and Matt gets up there and spins one like 6 inches from the hole out of the sand. And then his brother taps it in, and it was just incredible. So it was a fun. They shot even, and then I think they ended up being 1 under, so they ended up winning it on 18. So he does it again on the 18th, and then his brother now, that was a huge win for his brother because he was on the DP World Tour. Oh shit! What I just hit. Oh my gosh!
Just got his card.
Yeah, he got his. Where is it? There it is. So he's got. He's exempt. He earns his PGA Tour card through 2028, and his exemption remaining signature events on the 2026 PGA Tour calendar. So he just made him an absolute boatload of money, probably.
Yes.
That was awesome.
Think he pays him back?
They look nothing alike.
No, they don't.
Some of you are wondering, though, from that tournament, what really matters, how did the top 20 come out? Better this week. The only place we can go is up from here. We were 1. We had Gary Woodland last week. This time we made 3. Shout out Novak, our guy, getting a top 10. Tony Finau, Max Grieserman, and then Hubbard and Brem. They played really well here last year. They missed the cut.
Yeah, I don't know what you're doing picking Finau. Like he is struggling right now.
He is wearing some sick outfits though.
Nike's not on him anymore, are they?
No, I think he is. I think he's Jordan.
Well, that's not technically Nike.
No.
It is, but it isn't.
So the top 20 failed again, but we're better. Also, Rory's sitting out. He's sitting out signature events, even though he's the one that kind of pushed for them to play in signature events.
That does not look good.
He won his Grand Slam and doesn't give a rip about anything anymore.
He just wants to play in the majors.
Yeah. So what? I mean, I don't care. I don't care what Rory does. Like everybody's like, what does this mean for his character? Don't care.
Nope.
He got his Grand Slam.
Play well in the majors.
And then Jim Furyk's the Ryder Cup captain, boys. Not great, because the last time he was, we lost by like 8.5 points.
Yeah, I don't like. They only like. It's like they look at who's available, and they pick between 3 people.
I don't just pick somebody up. Put Kisner back there for all I care.
Just put Phil there. I don't care.
Just put somebody. Tiger's not going to do it. We don't need Jim Furyk back in there. No offense.
Put God, what's his name with the damn gut and a beard, smoke cigarettes?
John Daly.
John Daly back there.
Anybody, not a guy who lost by like 7 points. We're on home. We're on. This is an away game, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, the Europeans are going to be motivated. So they're trying to do something that I don't think's been done. 3 in a row.
They're going to be salty at us. We haven't won over there, and I don't remember how long it's been since we won on foreign soil. So, Indiana's national championship rings. I had no idea they got 5 rings.
5 rings.
What are we doing here? I mean, what are we, Thanos?
It took us 5 years to get 5 rings.
I got a degree.
Yeah.
Like, I had a degree to go along with these. That's crazy, dude. That's unbelievable. I do like it. I like their natty. That's
you get a college football playoff ring.
Yeah.
Wait, what's the one on the right then?
That's college football playoff ring.
That's the national champion college football playoff ring. Then the Peach Bowl champion.
Playoff ring, dude. That you don't get a playoff ring. That's
what I'm saying.
Do you get them sized for different fingers?
I got all mine sized for different fingers. I got one for every finger, dude. But you can't. We can't just be giving out rings for every time you win I don't know. And Kentucky Derby. Is that this weekend? That's this weekend. Isn't it?
Yep.
Hey.
Are you going?
I'm not going this year.
152nd. Shout out Edge.
Shout out. Of course you don't go to this one, jerk.
Renegade is the favorite. Shout out if you're from Pittsburgh. Since 1995, 16 of the 31
But he's
winners.
in the first. That's bad. That's a bad draw for him. If
you don't like that?
If he's in the first post as the favorite, it's a really bad draw because he can get trapped.
No.
He can get trapped.
Oh, no. Well, 16 of the 31 winners have broken from gate 13 or higher since 1995. So we need 13 and up.
When is this Saturday?
I feel like we have to bet on Incredible. That sounds like a dog for
Get closer to it so I can see the names.
Oh.
We should, well, if it wasn't Saturday, we should stream it live and get G.U.Y.S insider Kentucky Derby knowledge on it.
I'm not going to see the names.
I know that's
the right
what I'm saying.
Party?
The Puma.
Puma?
6-speed. Ooh.
No, they sponsor Ricky Fowler. I can't. Ricky Fowler never won anything with sponsors. Further ado. See, they said 13. Now I'm looking at 13-1.
Chief Wallaby.
Hey, give me Incredible. That's a freaking superhero dog name. You kidding me? How can you go against Commandment? I'm not going against Commandment.
Full effort. I
respect the Commandments. Dude, 6-speed is a six-speed is a sick horse name, dude.
Yeah. Long shot though. I would sprinkle money on that just for being long shot.
Full effort? That sounds like a scataboo. I like this. We're gonna have to pick something. We're gonna have to do this Wednesday.
High motor.
I like it. Shout out to the guy who ran the marathon. He ran the marathon in less than 2 hours.
Jesus.
Golly.
How is that possible, dude? Sebastian Sawe, the first human ever to run a sub 2-hour marathon. That's 4 minutes per mile.
That's nuts.
4.5 minutes per mile.
That's running.
That is moving, dude. And then White Castle is bringing sliders to hospitals, colleges, workplaces with 1,000 hot food vending machines. They're going to make a kiosk for White Castle.
What?
I don't even know if that's possible, dude.
It's gross.
What does it do? Microwave it and drop it down?
I don't know. How does real meat sit in there?
It's not real meat. Yeah, that ain't real meat.
That's This has got to be fake, right? Is this fake?
I don't know.
Dexerto is usually pretty accurate with some of these outlandish, All right, ladies and gentlemen. Do we have anything else?
Yeah, I got some more Clemson knowledge if you want me to drop it real for you.
Sure, dude. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Anything. Hey, we suck at running the ball. Let's draft a wide receiver from Ole Miss who can't run routes. No pass rush? Sure. Let's draft a running back from Indiana. See you later, everybody. Anything else?
No.